You know what time it is now? It's time
Rankings
to unveil
season.
the Week 4 Dave Campbell's Texas football high school football rankings. Dave Campbell's Texas Football has published the state's most respected Texas high school football rankings for decades and is the official rankings provider of the Associated Press since 2019. Weekly rankings are revealed live on Texas Football Today every Monday at 12:37 and 37 seconds at texasfootball.com/live, and complete rankings can be found at texasfootball.com/rankings. We will start in Class 6A. There's a little bit of churn here, a little bit of movement here. I would say the real headlines here are Rockwall jumping from 11 to 6 with their very impressive win over Lake Travis. Lake Travis tumbles to number 10. Also, I would highlight what Spring Westfield did. Spring Westfield jumps from number 18 to number 12, ahead of Galena Park North Shore, who fell from number 4 to number 13 after their loss. There are a few new entries into the rankings. Midland Legacy holds on to a number 23 spot after their narrow loss to Arlington Martin. But two newcomers, the Fighting Farmers of Louisville, are the number 24 team in the state, 3-0 with a win over Arlington Lamar. And Cy Park is entered the top 25. They are 3-0 after a 59-20 win over Lamar Consolidated. To 5A we go. 5A Division I first, where this was relatively chalky with the exception of the bottom of the rankings, where 1 through 4 are all the same, with Denton Ryan, College Station, Manville, and Highland Park all winners. Corpus Christi Vets and Longview are up a spot, leapfrogging Colleyville Heritage, who took a narrow loss to Yule's Trinity. They dropped from number 5 to number 7. Lone Stars remains the same at number 8. Amarillo Tascosa up a spot with a win over Odessa Permian, and number 10, Katy Pato, their win over Richmond Foster, 30-14. BJ Gotts got them cooking. They are number 10 in the Dave Campbell's Texas football rankings. Over in 5A Division II, the top 4, again, unchanged. Aledo, Fort Bend, Marshall, Lucas, Lovejoy, and Huntsville remain the same. Huntsville's got big tests this week, by the way. A&M Consolidated up 2 spots with their win over Converse Judson. Ennis wins the 100th Battle of 287 in overtimes. They remain number 6. Being idle was awful good to Denison. They jumped 2 spots because Liberty Hill moves, or rather because Lubbock Cooper tumbles from number 5 to number 8 with their loss to Wolford Friendship. And new to the rankings, number 10, Bernie Champion, 3-0 with a win over Laredo United South. To 4A we go, Pickle, where, again, a little bit of churn. Waco La Vega tumbles from number 3 to number 7. That is where you will find Austin LBJ now at number 3 with their win over Waco La Vega. Midlothian Heritage up a couple of spots. Same with Tyler Chapel Hill up to number 5 in the state. Stephenville up to number 6. El Campo moves up a spot. Paris moves up a spot and into the rankings at number 10. The Porcupines of Springtown with a 30-29 win over Waco Conley. They are now the number 10 team in the state at 3-0. 4A Division II, top 7 unchanged. Carthage, Gilmer, Salina, West Orange, Stark, China Spring, Belleville, and Cuero. Cuero, very impressive win over rival Yoakum. Wimberley up a spot with their win over Lampasas. Sinton drops from number 8 to number 10 with a loss to Corpus Christi Miller. That's a 5A over a 4A. And finally, into the rankings at number 9, the Vandals at 3-0. They beat Lindale 35-31 to move to 3-0. Over in the 3A ranks, Pickle, again, you're going to notice there's just a little bit of change. Yoakum's lost to Cuero. Because we think that's a really good 4A team, we dropped them 1 spot from 7 to 8. Mount Vernon up a spot to number 10. The top 5 unchanged. Hallettsville, the big mover, they move up 2 spots. Same with Vanderbilt Industrial. And into the top 10, the West Trojans, a win over Orange Grove, 47-30. Keep an eye on David Woodard's bunch. 3A Division II now. We didn't really know what to do with Canadian, I'll be honest. Canadian loses to Bushland 49-42 in overtime in a very bizarre matchup. We end up dropping them from number 3 to number 8. I'm willing to give them another chance and assume that this is just one hiccup, but basically everything else is more or less unchanged. Newton does leapfrog Idle Childress to the number 3 spot. Big game this week against West Orange Stark. Holiday up a spot, Wascom up a spot, West Rusk up a spot, and the number 9 and number 10 Abernathy and Poth remain unchanged. To 2A Pickle, where This was, if I remember correctly, let me make sure I pull this up. This was actually relatively easy. 1 through 9 unchanged. Refugio, Shiner, Timpson, Crawford, Cisco, Mason, New Deal, Hawley, and Beckville. But new to the rankings, number 10, the Buffaloes of Forsan are 3-0. They're the number 10 team in 2A Division 1. Over into 2A Division 2 now, where almost entirely chalk. Stratford leapfrogs Tenaha, who loses to Bullard Brookhill, which is a good private school team. They drop to number 7. Stratford moves up to number 6 with a win over a team from Kansas. Everything else basically unchanged. To the 1A rankings, Pickle, where again a little bit of a makeover here. So I mentioned this on Twitter. But Borden County is a bizarre case. Borden County loses to Rankin 76-40. They now have losses to number 1 May, number 2 Rankin, and number 4 Westbrook. And this week they get Sterling City, who's number 3. We dropped them from the rankings because, they're 0-3. It's hard to keep an 0-3 team in the rankings. And furthermore, I think there's a fair chance to go 0-4. But it's one of those things where I think that they could, in fact, be like the 5th best team in the state.
Right.
I don't think they are, but there's an outside chance that they are. Anyway, top 6 are actually unchanged. Happy loses to Spring Lake Earth. We dropped them 1 spot to number 9 because we do think Spring Lake Earth's pretty good. That's why they're back in the rankings. At number 7, a bounce-back win for them. Water Valley new to the rankings at number 8. Lakey beats San Antonio Feast Homeschool 56-52. We keep them at number 10. And in 1A Division 2, mostly chalky, 1 through 7 entirely the same. Motley County still number 1 in these rankings. Anton up a spot to number 9. And new to the rankings, Oakwood, a 50-0 win over Trinidad, moves them to 2-0. They are now state ranked. In the private school ranks, a little bit of churn here, especially at the bottom. Houston Kincaid is up a spot with a win over Houston St. Thomas. And new to the rankings, the 3-0 Midland Christian Mustangs. Congratulations, Coach Greg McClendon now a member of the 200 Win Club. They beat Bernie 47-42. In the private 6-man ranks, a lot of churn. Actually, a ton of churn. Waco Live Oak beats Wiley Prep to stay number 1. That bumps Wiley Prep out of the rankings. Austin Veritas up a spot to number 2 or to number 3. And Texas School for the Deaf up 2 spots to number 5. New to the rankings, Bulverde Bracken Christian, who is now 2-0 with a win over Round Rock Christian. And Marble Falls Faith, who beat Fredericksburg Heritage. They are 3-0 with a win over Fredericksburg Heritage, who was at one point, I believe, one of the top, maybe they might have been ranked number 1 in our rankings. And over Richland Springs. Very impressive for the Flames there. Those are your Week 4 Dave Campbell's Texas Football Associated Press rankings. You can find them at texasfootball.com/rankings.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on texasfootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to texasfootball.com/subscribe.